Hello, good afternoon. I'm Raimo from Estonian e-Residency team. Nice to meet you all here. Just to warm you up, then we'll give you some organizational information. As it's a live Q&A, emphasizing the Q&A, then would like to bring out some things. First of all, if you have any questions during the event, please do add them to Q&A tab. We will pick our questions for answering from the Q&A tab. Now, on the other hand, if you would like to chat with us or with some other people at joining the event, then feel free to use chat for that. But for the questions, there is a Q&A. And as we are going to wait maybe 1 or 2 minutes, then please do add some information. Where are you from to the chat so that we get some understanding of the geography of today's attendees. And if you have any expectations for the webinar to share, then you can also add your expectations there so that we know.
Hello to Kiev. Hello to Belgium. We have some people from Germany. Welcome. Poland. Very international. Oh, Bosnia and Herzegovina today. I'm going there in summer.
Kenya.
Nigeria. Melbourne. I saw another one from Australia. Sri Lanka. Wow.
Mexico.
Yeah, that's the one.
It seems like we're going to have all the 180 countries participating where we have e-residents from. Tunisia, welcome. I noticed quite a few people from the Netherlands.
Yeah, several people from Turkey.
We have quite a lot of successful Turkish residents in Estonia.
Serbia. Anyway.
I'm gonna wait for another few minutes and maybe go over again the rules. 200 people already live.
So hi again, who has just joined the meet or a few seconds ago. Then I'm Raimo from e-Residency team. And I'm going to remind you that it is possible to ask questions during the webinar for us and for other attendees or the other performers. But please do add your questions to Q&A section. So in the link, there is a menu bar below, and there is a tab called Q&A. Please do add your questions there. You don't have to ask your questions right away. Once it comes during the presentations, just add it. We are going to answer some of them live by the presenters, and majority of them by people who are helping us to get all the topics covered as much as it's possible. And the chat is for chit chat and also maybe sharing your emotions and ideas. But probably it is now a good time to start. So today's event is about funding options and accelerators here in Estonia that are available for Estonian e-residents and the companies created by Estonian e-residents. During the last few years, we have seen pretty nice interest from e-residents to attend the programs that are available in Estonia, to push their startups to the next level. And we do really have really good guests here today. So in addition to me and Ülane, we both are from Estonian e-Residency team, we have today here Eero Liivandi. He is going to talk about funding options by Estonian Innovation and Business Agency. Then we have Liisa Jõerud from Tenity, that is one of the accelerators that is going to introduce itself, probably mainly focusing on fintechs, but also some other topics. And then we have Kertu from Creative Destruction Lab Estonian unit, and she's going to talk about CDL in Estonia and a bit also the global entity itself. But let's get started, as we are going to have a lot of topics to cover.
Share the screen.
So, if you are new to e-residency topics, then we just going to give you a very, very brief overview. What is e-residency? E-residency is Estonian state program that is a digital identity given out for a private person with the main idea to open a company in Estonia. And digital identity enables you to access to Estonian e-services, whatever you need to make your business happen, securely digitally sign your documents, verify yourself for the state systems, also for some of the private services, and then start a company, which makes you also part of the global community of entrepreneurial people all around the world. As Ülane already mentioned, there are e-residents from, 180 countries. And there are more than 110,000 e-residents who have created 30,000 companies in Estonia. Just to be very clear, e-residency does not give you any physical access to Estonia or European Union. So it's not a travel document or gives you any citizenship, visa, residence permit. So this is not meant for that. This document that you get for digital signing, it even does not have a picture on it. It does also not change your personal tax residency. So if you still continue doing your business homeland, staying there full time, then you are still tax resident of your home country. And becoming an e-resident and starting Estonian company does not guarantee you a business bank account in any traditional bank or in fintech company. This is always purely decision by the bank or the electronic money institution whether to open an account for you or not. And also, it does not give you any personal bank account. But the main reasons why to become e-resident, first of all, it is actually to start online European Union-based company, 100% online. You can run it remotely wherever you are. You don't have to come to Estonia, but we, of course, invite you to because it's a beautiful country. You can digitally sign your documents with the highest possible security standard. So basically, signature given digitally is as strong as the handwritten one in any other country. And the main virtue that you can benefit is that you can run your business remotely, so no dependency on time zones or lifestyles. Your Estonia is always open. Of course, if there is a document that needs the processing by official, then he or she does it when it's working time for him or her. You can submit everything anytime and become a part of the community. Applying for e-residency is easy. You go to the website, fill in the application form. Estonian Police and Border Guard will process it and gives you the yes or no answer. If it's a yes, you can go and pick up your card. During the application process, you basically say in which pickup location you would like to receive your card. And in order to get your card, this is the only physical visit you need to do to see Estonian official face-to-face to give your fingerprints and signature and get the card. And then basically you can sit down to the cafe next to the Estonian embassy and start your company. The whole process usually takes 3 to 8 weeks. And then basically you can start your company, which is usually done online with the help of service providers. Check out more from our website and the marketplace. That is one of the subsection of the website. And then you can do all the administrative part you need to do for your company digitally. There is almost no operation you cannot do digitally. And then start finding the growth opportunities that we are covering today, the funding, the acceleration programs, some visa programs meant for startup founders, and so on. And now Ülane will cover some information about how does the landscape looks like.
Yes, so I am Ülane and I'm the head of business development at the e-Residency team. But I am also known in the team as the entrepreneur in residence, having been a startup founder myself, having actually been through an accelerator program, raising money from private investors, participating in a business idea competition. I see those mentioned on the slide right now where I have been. So just decided to give you a little bit of a background about the ecosystem as well. Estonian ecosystem for startups is very rich, and there are organizations that are helping startups in very different development stages, starting from the kind of mindset, building the agile mindset, all the way to VC funding. This is just a map and just a picture of the ecosystem, but there are 150 different organizations that can help startups. I can put the next slide. So what we decided to do from our side is that e-residents as English speakers, as foreign citizens, but owners of Estonian companies would get the best access to understanding what's available. Then we actually created the sub page to e-Residency website. It's called the funding page. So you will find it under growing your company, and you will find basically every possible accelerator program, incubation program, different grants, different VC funds. You can sort them, you can filter them, and it's probably the best site in English that puts together these opportunities for e-residents. An Estonian entrepreneur was asking me actually, how come we don't have one place where an Estonian entrepreneur can have all the different opportunities on one page? But we made this for e-residents, so e-residents now can have it. And the things that are on here, they accept e-residents. So we didn't put any program here that's fully in Estonian and not actually English ready. So next slide. And for those of you that already are e-residents and you have companies registered in Estonia, then it's, as you know, to take advantage of Estonia's tax system and everything that Estonia has to offer the best, then actually it's good for you to tie your business physically more and more to Estonia. These are some of the ways how you could build substance in Estonia, but also by actually coming here, raising investments here, and starting to hire a team in Estonia is going to really help you to take advantage of everything that e-Residency has to offer. Can move on. And first of all, do you want to introduce Eero yourself? Eero can put his slides. First guest is going to be from our head organization, ACE, Enterprise Estonia, introducing the grants and opportunities that are from the government side available to e-residents. And if you have any specific questions about his part, then try to highlight it in the chat. We also have a colleague of his answering the questions here, so you will you can address your question directly to Eero.
And just a quick reminder, questions to the Q&A section. Chat is for chatting.
Okay, hello from my side as well. It's great to give an overview what kind of possibilities companies have in Estonia. Mainly my topic is focusing on when you already have established a company, what are the possibilities, but few things also when you are having the idea establishing a company here. So I'm from Entrepreneurship and Innovation Agency, and to which topics we address mainly, and this first is innovation. Especially, I could say that deep tech is one of the hot topics we have. Then everything covered with digitalization and automatization. Also sustainable development, which addresses environmental governance, all kind of energy efficiency, circular economic topics, and also exports, how to sell to different markets. To talk about subsidies and grants, first a few words about the framework we have here. It's regulated actually with state aid legislation. And what is state aid is kind of advantage which is granted by the public authorities. And through that, it's really important that everything you do doesn't distort competition within the European Union. and even potentially doesn't distort competition. But inside this state aid, there's also so-called the minimis aid, which is called small scale help and aid, and it's not covered as any effect to competition. The minimis aid is up to 300,000 euros. So this is the amount of state aid which is covered under small scale aid. The aid is provided in different forms. It could be grants, it could be also guarantees or loans, or even capital injections or tax exemptions. So there are different ways. And a few things which has to be understood when using grants is they always consist of subsidy and also their own share. And it's important that you have to finance your project on your own at the first, and you can have a subsidy afterwards if you have taken the actions. Grants are applied through the system, and one thing which might be a little bit obstacle is that usually grants or business plans for the grants has to be written in Estonian. So it's good to have some kind of co-pilot or wingman from local side, or use help. And in e-Residency webpage, there are already also different service providers who can help with this matter. I mentioned the minimis aid, which is each company established and operating in EU has so-called 300,000 euro de minimis aid, and it can be used inside grants or use different services which are offered under this state aid. And when we talk about Estonia, the other thing which has to be aware is there is this kind of R&D, innovation, and entrepreneurship focus areas. And this is something where government has pointed out which are the priority sectors, or which are helped more. And there are 4 of them: digital solutions in any area of life, everything which is covered under health technologies and services, then topics which are pointing to sustainable energy solutions, and also upcycling local resources. And under these local resources, there are connected to food, also mineral, natural resources, and everything connected to recycling and connected how to reuse waste. Where to start? There are lots of inputs, but I could say that when you are trying to establish a company, then Startup Estonia webpage is something which is good to look at. There are different networking events, different accelerators, different support for startup companies. Also, startup visa and scale-up visas are applied through startup ecosystem. I hope that the slides are shared to the participants later, because I have inserted there's some links, and then you can use them. We have a newsletters also in 3 topics: innovation, export, and tourism. Then I think the most holistic way, if you have an idea and you didn't find your answer from any of these web pages, we have a customer service, and this is also channel to contact, to write directly to customer service email, and describe your idea and have a feedback. Does it suit, or is it good to go further, or is there what kind of help we can provide? Also, it's good to follow us in different LinkedIn sites, which regularly shares the information, and also you get contact what kind of events or possibilities are opening. And our agency is mainly helping companies in three topics: network, knowledge, and funding. And now I go briefly through some of the possibilities in each of these areas. From network side, I would like to point out first our international house possibilities. It's consultation for international recruitment, but also help for relocation. And this is a possibility when having idea to move to Estonia, or looking employees to move to Estonia. This international house is, I think, the first place to go and have help how to make your documents correct, how to find a living place, where to put your children to school or kindergarten. They are covering quite wide area of these topics. Then from, as I mentioned, that deep tech is one of the innovation topics which are priority. Then we have a few things concerning technology, intelligence, or also this kind of cooperation with science parks. And with this technology, intelligence, and also intellectual property restrictions, it's good to have a chat with our expert. We have access to worldwide IP databases, and our experts can help to validate that the idea or technology you are planning to develop, how competitive this area are. Is there any similar technologies protected in this area? Which are the major players in this area? And this is a good pre-job to do before entering to development part. Development cooperation, also we have in-house experts who help to find right partners around EU when you are trying to go through with some kind of experiment, or need to certify your product or service, or go through feasibility studies. And the partners could be universities, could be science parks, could be R&D agencies. So this is also a good way to make this kind of preliminary market research. From the knowledge side, I would point out IP consultation, because this is something which companies which have new technology or new business model to understand how and which markets should be protected, or what is the right IP strategy to use. And we also have in-house experts to explain and help how to protect, trademark up to IP protection, and how to turn it to revenue. Then Estonia has expert advisor on 18 markets around the world. And what's the expert advisor's main job is to help Estonian companies to enter the market, understand the market, what are the culture there, to find the right contacts, and also to agree this kind of prearranged meetings in the market. There is a list of the markets we are operating, and in these markets we have our own expert advisors at place. But on the other hand, we also have this kind of international expert service solution when you can pick the market and the consultant who helps you to access the market on your own, and you can get a grant for that. The grant is to buy in consultancy services. It could be everything connected to marketing strategy, how to make your product or service suitable for the market. What you can't do, you can't use it for sales activities. So this is forbidden, but everything before the sales, even to find the right contacts and do the meetings, this is all right. And the grant could be up to 10,000 euros. And 50% you have to pay your own, and the other 50% can be covered by the grant. And there is no restriction of the market and no restriction of the expert you use. And then from funding side, I think the first step when you don't have the company yet, then there is possibility to use this kind of business starting grant. The qualification is there that you have to be less than 3 years ago established company, less than 10 employees, and annual turnover has to be less than 40,000. So these are the restrictions. All other companies can apply, or if you don't have a company and try to establish, then it's also fine. There has to go through this kind of pre-consultation, and it's done through regional development centers. The link is above to our webpage, so you can find later the contacts. And what has to be provided is business plan, financial prognosis, and also CVs of the owners. And grant is up to 20,000. This is one of the only grants when the grant is paid advance. So 15,000 is paid advance if you are qualified, and 5,000 afterwards if you have accomplished the activities you have written in your business plan. And also one thing, you have to create at least one working or employee have to be hired at the end of this business plan. Then next thing which is connected to innovation, there is this kind of innovation and development grants. And this is an easy way to use to make your first prototype or go through some kind of feasibility study or do a research. Innovation grant is 7,500 euros and development grant is 35,000 euros. The own share is up to 20%, so you can get 80% covered by the grant. And the only thing is there has to be cooperation with some kind of R&D partner. So it could be university, it could be science park, but there has to be cooperation. The other part, if there is connected with this kind of deep tech or really new technology, or then you can use the applied research grant. It's used for test new materials, for example, get new knowledge about new areas or new technologies. It can be applied independently or also in cooperation with other companies or with science parks. and it covers mainly so-called pre-market time. So this applied research grants doesn't expect that the product is ready for the market. So this is something you can do before the market. And what's good that you also can go through the preliminary protection of IP with this grant. The grant can be up to 2 million. There are so-called small grants which are open all the time, and there are call-based grants which are open twice or 3 times a year. So you have to go through this kind of also preliminary consultation, and then you can apply when the calls are opened. Product development grant, this focuses on already market-ready products. So it could be prototype, first product, but it could be also that you develop further your previous product, which is already on the market. And this is something where you can cover mainly your R&D stuff, labor costs, purchased in services, all kinds of materials and supplies needed for product development. And also when you use some kind of equipment, then you can put the equipment amortization costs inside this grant. Grant is up to 500,000, and support rate is up to 45%. So 55% has to be the own share. And for the last, I could say that this is the widest solution, so-called development programs. And this is where you can develop your company's wide range. You can use it for product or service development, but as well to improve your processes, to hire a new development or process staff, to digitalize or automate your company, and also everything connected with internationalization. So you can also put your marketing costs inside the plan. The grant rate is up to 500,000, and also the own share is 55%. And usually the period of these kind of programs are up to 36 months. So it's a 3-year program usually when using it. I think I have used my time, and there are also contacts if you need any further questions.
Before you go, Eero, let's answer some questions live maybe. There was a question here where somebody's asking any opportunities for research grants or postgraduate scholarships, and obviously the applied research grant was already discussed. Can you maybe elaborate a little more on this if it's possible?
Yes, but this is not connected with scholarship, because this is mainly when you have already established a company. So this is pointed for a company. This is one thing. When looking for scholarship grants or topics like this, then this is done under our education ministry. So, and usually through the universities. But still, I think if we look at the technology readiness level scale, which is TRL 3 is the level which is everything less than TRL 3 is usually done inside the university. Then this applied research points to TRL 4 to TRL 7. So this is all connected to applied research, feasibility studies, testing, all kind of these topics.
Did we lose you?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. For a moment, we lost you. Thank you, Eero. And another question I would like maybe you to answer is that could you give a use case of the process someone with e-residency would go through from idea inception to funding and resourcing a team in Estonia? I know there's a Turkish company that has just recently, I think, successfully applied for one of the applied research grants. So maybe you know a little more about this this case or company or.
I can't do particular examples, but when I mentioned that usually the business plan has to be written in Estonian when we are talking about grants, then I could say that applied research grants are different because there we accept also English written projects and plans. So this makes definitely easier to enter. Also, all kind of pre-consultation can be done in English. But usually there is no difference who are behind the company. There has to be a great idea and also there has to be financial part correct, because as I mentioned, there is always the own share. So this is something to go through to understand who are the investors and that project plan is solid. So.
Yes, and I saw another question here that was about the self investment into the company, and just to specify, this is particularly only relevant to like the state grants that you need to have your own share in the project, and this is very common, I think, in all the countries. If you are able to, for example, raise investments from private.
Yeah, that's no problem. The own share could be a loan, this could be owner's capital. This could
then
be
obviously that's also considered your share match. Am I right, Eero?
Sorry.
All right, but let's move on to the next speaker, maybe.
Yes, Eero, please also stop sharing the slides. Just to be very clear, slides and recording will be shared afterwards. So people who are writing in the chat that they would like to have the slides, then yes, the slides with the links and everything will come. So welcome Lisa from Tenity. She's going to talk about the program and the opportunities that are available there.
Yes, hi, thank you for having me. And yeah, great to talk about what we do and who we are. So yeah, Tenity, I'm an investment associate at Tenity, and we are a global innovation ecosystem and early stage investor, really creating the future of finance. So the background is that we grew out of the Swiss stock exchange. There was, the need to find some innovative solutions to the, old school financial markets. So we sort of became a matchmaker between the startups and then these, bigger stage corporates on the stock exchange. That went really well. Then we saw the opportunity to really accelerate the growth of the startups we are working with. So thus we created this accelerator, and that went well. And then we saw, okay, there's this market opportunity for also, investing in the companies we're accelerating. So really, Tenity is like, we call it an ecosystem because it's like a triangle between, the corporations, then the accelerator, and then the fund part. And we operate out of 6 physical hubs: Tallinn, Zurich, Madrid, London, Istanbul, and Singapore. And within these 6 hubs, we have 3 hubs which run the VC-backed incubation or acceleration programs. So in Tallinn, in Zurich, and then also in Singapore. And I am then from the Tallinn office, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about the fund and how to apply and who we're looking for. So as we grew out of the financial markets, our core has been really investing in fintech companies, insurtech companies in the pre-seed stage. Also our LPs, so our investment and collaboration partners are from the financial sphere. So big players like Julius Baer, Generali, Franklin Templeton, and so on. So these are also the people who we, started working with initially. As we started from the financial markets, we have been also looking more towards other verticals. And I mean, here are, the good examples from our alumni companies. As we've started working with them from a very early on, so ideation stage, pre-seed stage. Now, I mean, a couple of our portfolio companies have really grown, raised a lot of money. There have been plenty others within the similar, Series A stage. So our original portfolio companies are, growing pretty fast. And in Estonia, we just launched our hub in September. And are now running our incubation batches here as well. Maybe, important things to highlight is, the maturity. So we do invest in, pre-seed startups mostly. How we do it is we invest via batches. So we run 2 batches of companies per year, one in the fall time and one in spring. And we invest the initial 50K to each selected company to the batch. Then we run the program, which is 4 months of work, but it's more, it's not like a strict curriculum, but more, an opportunity for networking. So within the 4 months, we have 4 5-day master classes where we meet in person, put you in contact with coaches, mentors to really develop the product, get the right product market fit, the value proposition, and then also the sales funnel, and then moving on to finding investors and pitching, and then getting raising a bigger round. And then as you end the program, the idea is that when you start the fundraising for your seed round, then we would like to follow up with an additional 250K. And then also, even further down the line, during Series A and B, we would also like to be a part, of the discussions and, a part of the cap table. So it's a really like a long view game we're playing, and we really want to, help our portfolio companies grow. Then sector-wise, as I mentioned, fintechs and insurtechs have been our bread and butter. However, in Estonia specifically, we are looking towards other verticals. For example, climate fintechs, prop techs, legal techs. We have 3 companies. Anything that has kind of a use case for the financial industry in somewhat, because I mean the financial industry is such a large umbrella, right? So there are a lot of touch points. So we really do not really discriminate or invest based on the label, but more it more depends on what do you do and how your product is built. And geographically as well, the incubation program we run in Tallinn, we invest, we try to find companies, 50% of the companies that are in the Baltic and Nordic regions, but also we really like to bring in, people from other regions and companies from other regions to Estonia. We have a lot of e-residents in our portfolio. We have companies that have been previously incorporated, for example, in Singapore, and now have been brought over to Estonia and written up here as well. And yeah, so we really like to leverage Estonia's position as a good destination for bringing your startup here. There's a lot of information here, of course, as was previously mentioned. All the slides will be available, so you can go through them in more detail. And yeah, we are now accepting applications, for our next investment batch. So feel free to scan the QR code, and we look forward to getting your application and going over it, and then seeing where we can go from there. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. First of all, just to clarify, the next batch, can you describe a bit what are the main criteria for startups that are applying? What are the basic or minimum criteria they need to meet? Yeah,
I mean, of course, the most important thing for us is, the vertical. So you do match somewhere in, the financial sphere with the product. We also look for companies with at least 2 co-founders, and you have to be, incorporated as well. But otherwise, also in terms of the stage, we look for companies from ideation stage to post MVP. We have companies also who have applied when they were raising their seed round. So companies in fairly different stages. So it's really case by case, and we welcome all applications and we go through all of them, and then make our initial decision and then go from there.
Can we take one question live? What would be the advantage to opening a fintech in Estonia as opposed to the UK? Lisa, what do you think?
I mean, good question, no pressure. Well, I think first of all, the ecosystems are fairly different. I mean, London is a global fintech hub. It has its advantages, but at the same time, the tight-knit network here is really great in scaling your product. You can get access to the right contacts quickly, find good partners quickly, and of course with Tenity, a part of all of our value proposition is really putting you in touch with global players from different hubs, but still have your product and company in Estonia, so you can get kind of the best of both worlds.
And if I may add something about the regulatory framework, then the two organizations that you want to look up is Estonian Financial Intelligence Unit and Financial Inspection, Finantsinspektsioon, fi.ee. Those are the regulators in the financial sector.
Yes, and I think for the community of the fintechs or for the general landscape, in addition to Tenity, maybe you should talk or check out what Finance Estonia is doing as an umbrella organization for the fintechs. But I have another short question related to your process. There's a question about what else in addition to tech is expected in process-wise? What a startup needs to provide in addition to tech for applying successfully?
Yeah, I mean, for the initial application, I mean, there's, besides the deck, we need basic information regarding your cap table, for example, your founders, the sector you're in, the product you're working with, but all these fields are seen in the application, so feel free to click the link, and then it's pretty straightforward to just fill it out. And if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. My email is on the slides. Also LinkedIn, I'm always open to chat. So really apply and you have questions, let me know.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. Hopefully you have a chance to answer something in written as well when there is any questions still to Tenity. And our third speaker is Kertu from Creative Destruction Lab Estonia. Long name, but really awesome program. And we'd be happy to hear more about it. Still, at the same time, if you have questions, ask them in the chat. I remind you that we will share the slides and the recording after the event. Yeah. Welcome, Kertu.
Yes, hello. And for people who are, want to be fast and don't want to waste time, then we've shortened the Creative Destruction Lab into CDL, so it's a lot easier to pronounce and talk about. So yes, my name is Kertu. I'm from CDL-Estonia. I'm a venture manager, and also here with me is Artur Kamberg, who is helping me to answer all your questions in the Q&A section. So I'm going to give you a little bit an overview about what CDL is globally and what we do here in CDL-Estonia. So CDL's mission is to enhance the commercialization of science for the betterment of humankind. And we do this by an objective-based mentorship program for massively scalable seed stage science and technology-based companies. So this is like this general mission and vision that we have. We operate in all around the world, and most sites are in Canada, 5 in Canada, 3 in the United States, 4 in Europe, and also now 1 in Australia, in Melbourne. So we also saw that there are a few people from Melbourne here today. This is like a quick slide of how we've grown in more than 10 years now. So since 2012, we've grown into this global network of different sites. And here you can also see that every site or all different sites are actually focusing on different streams or different technologies that the startups are working in. So for example, AI or quantum or health tech or energy or whatever you can find here. And at CDL-Estonia, we are focusing on, or our stream is called Digital Society, but I'm going to tell you about this a little bit later. At CDL, how we measure success or how we measure success is basically how much equity value the startups create. So this 27 billion is for the global alumni of the program. And we also have over 2,700 alumni companies in the program. Also, this number is not on the slide, but more than 500 different mentors to mentor the different startups. So how we differentiate from other programs and accelerators, I'm going to bring out here like the main things. So first of all, we don't have any fees and we don't take any equity from the startups. We can do this because we are philanthropy funded, and yeah, some of the CDL sites are also funded by different corporate partnerships. But yeah, this means that basically the only currency that we have is the participation for the startups. So we really ask the startups to commit to the program and be present and really want to succeed. Our mentorship quality and the experts that we have is really on top level. The format that we have is gives the mentors the ability to give quite honest feedback to the startups, and the mentors who are participating are have been founding and being in the management of different science-based tech companies themselves. So they have a very vast knowledge base on where they can share this information with the startups. So it's really, really high quality. And the people who are in the room are not somebody you can reach out to maybe every day, but and even if you can, then because in Estonia it's quite common that you walk into the president of Estonia on the street, but also the mentors' own network is quite wide and vast at CDL. We also help the startups to get more done and grow faster. We work with in 8-week focused sprints, but there are only 4 fixed days of participation during an 8-month period. So basically, we meet for 4 full-day sessions, and then in between the sessions, we have 2 months where the startup works on their own pace and on the topics and challenges that they want to work on, and then the mentors help them again after this 2-month period to find the right focus and find the clarity on what to focus for the next 2 months to achieve their business goals faster. And the program is really highly personalized, so it's 100% your ask. We don't have any kind of pre-made program or workshops, but rather you come to the sessions with your challenges, and then the mentors try to basically filter out what would be the most important thing to focus on, and then continue working with this. But it's all what you want to do, so it's not something that we push you to do. So yes, the CDL sessions are the core of the program. We admit every year to one stream. We admit 20 startups, and yes, you attend up to 4 sessions between November and May. And these sessions are concentrated work, and there is a structure of small room discussion, then large room discussion, and deliberations where we sharpen your business objectives. We help you prioritize your time and resources, and also potentially raise capital. But this is something that is not like written in the CDL program, but it is something that can just come along as you succeed and as you progress with the company, because we do have a lot of investors also in the room and VC firms. Here, just an example of some of the key mentors from CDL Global Network. We have, for example, some CFO from Google, or for example, Chris Hadfield, who is a former astronaut. So why CDL is in Estonia, and what does the digital society stream mean? Well, actually, it's all the fault of Sten Tamkivi, who is has been a general manager of Skype and now working at as an active investor. So he saw the CDL format in Canada and thought that this would also help the Estonian ecosystem to flourish. And actually, this was something that was missing from the Estonian ecosystem, that the startups could actually internationalize and go to the international markets better because of all the contacts and all the expert mentors that we have. And of course, when we were choosing what would be the focus of Estonia or CDL-Estonia, then it was kind of a no-brainer that it is the digital society, because we are very digitally advanced here. Also, one good example being the e-Residency. So yeah, basically digital society stream is focusing on innovative technologies that are digitizing the industries in public and private sector. So we are looking for different data-driven technologies, also cybersecurity and fintech, and also digital health technologies. And yeah, basically the program is delivered over 9 months. Right now we are looking for startups. We are accepting applications until the beginning of July. We will interview and select startups in August. And then the first meeting with the mentors, session 1 is in November, then 1 in January, March, May, and then for this global network meeting will take place in June in Toronto. And yeah, here was also a note that the ventures or startups do not have to relocate to Estonia, but we require that the most senior decision makers, the CEOs, for example, would attend. At least one of them would attend the physical sessions. Also, we have one virtual session. So yes, applications are open now until for CDL-Estonia until July 5th. So please feel free to ask any questions from me on this email, or follow me on LinkedIn and ask any questions there.
I have a bit of maybe intriguing question for you. It's like quite usual that if a startup goes to the accelerator, then some investment or some financial incentive is there. But in your case, this is not the primary focus. So what do you bring out as the biggest strengths or the main things why startups still should focus also on your accelerator, despite the fact that you basically don't promise money?
Well, we don't promise money, but we can promise that you get very sharp and straightforward like answers. Basically, why investors say no to you. And if they don't say no to you, then there might be people at the table who will actually say yes to you, because our mentor base is basically, let's say, 50%. They are active investors or VC firms. Then there are scientists, and then there are entrepreneurs or who have been actually like operators of different startups and global companies. So the chances of actually getting an investment is pretty high, but let's say that the most important thing or why you should come to the program is that you get this kind of insight information from the mentors that you wouldn't get anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. I have another question. Actually, there is a very simple question, but I haven't thought about it yet. Is it possible to participate in the multiple accelerators at the same time? It's a question for Liisa and for both of you, actually, both accelerators.
So do you mean that that the startup is in Tenity and then they also participate at CDL-Estonia?
Yes.
You mean like this? Okay.
Or the vice versa.
Okay, yeah. So for us, it's totally fine because the startup actually follows their own, goals and own objectives. So if it's something related to, developing further their technology in fintech, then and then it can help them do this, then that's fine by us because maybe our program is quite low touch in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, same with us. I mean, it's not like an obstacle from our side. As our, the program runs, from, late August to December or from, March till July, then it's a more tight schedule. And from our side, we just want the founders to really commit to the work and really help grow the company. But if they have the time and energy and resources to do multiple things, not an issue from our side.
I still actually have another quick question for both of the accelerators. Let's say there's a e-resident founded startup and they are interested in accelerating their business. What is the main how do you see? Sorry, I think I lost my question. Sorry, I forgot my question.
I will take one. I will take a couple more questions that are very general. A couple of people are asking about startup visa, and I have to say that startup visa and e-residency and coming to an Estonian accelerator, it's all a very good three-way, mutually beneficial thing. So if you are interested in startup visa of Estonia, the Startup Estonia can process the validation of whether you qualify as a startup in about 10 days. And after that, you have to go to Police and Border Guard or our embassy to apply for the actual visa, whether you want to come here short-term or long-term. And those accelerator programs, obviously, that require physical participation, being in the program for a certain time, then just by being accepted or being an e-resident, you are not able to travel to Estonia if your country doesn't have visa freedom with Estonia. So you still need a visa. So startup visa, if your startup is qualified, is a great opportunity to have an easier process. And e-residency is a necessary bit in this process because you can register your company already before you have even physically ever visited Estonia. You have your company and you can already be applying to accelerators. So that's why it all works well together. There were a couple of questions about.
Now I remember my question. Around the world, how tightly you cooperate or you work together? So let's say there's a startup turning to you here in Estonia, and you think that this would be actually a perfect one for, I don't know, CDL in Toronto or for Tenity in Madrid. How does this cooperation work inside in your brand? Maybe for a CDL first and then for Tenity.
Yeah, for us it works we work very tightly together, and we do this cross-reference between different sites all the time because the value of the network is similar to every site, but the focus sometimes is important that it's like a energy focused startup or whatever it is. So we try to find the best fit for the startup.
Yeah, same for us. The main thing is that which hub makes most sense logistically, because I mean the network is the same because we all share the contacts around the globe with all of our hubs. The curricula is more or less the same. I mean, the curricula also very much depends on what the company needs. It's not like that's standardized. It's more of a one-on-one work with our portfolio companies. So the main question is what is the most reasonable option logistically?
Mm-hmm.
One more question I'm going to answer live. How to find a mentor who can guide you through the process of getting funds for an idea that this is for Basel. Basel, maybe you can join the e-residents Facebook groups and community where there are a lot of people who have successfully built their businesses. So I'm sure that there's a lot of common knowledge and shared knowledge that the fellow community members of e-residents could share with you. So it would be great to see you in our community.
And I have also noticed several questions about non-profit organizations. What are the support measures for them? I believe that all the things that were described here today were for-profit companies, but like legally, quite many non-profit activities could be also like supported, even if the owners of the NGO are e-residents, but they are, let's say, primarily in the field of social affairs, like you are trying to solve some kind of social problem in Estonia or involving Estonia in that, let's say, or it's related to cultural aspects, like it's, I don't know, music festivals, whatever. There are grants for that still. So it depends a lot on the team or the field you are operating in. Then you should maybe try to dig into the information available on the websites of the related ministries or organizations. And also, if you are already Estonian e-resident company owner and you probably use service provider, then they could be also a big help for you in figuring out what are the opportunities.
Let's put back our slides.
Let's put back our slides.
We have a few more final comments and guidelines. If you can move to the last bit.
Let me see.
After the...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's say just a second.
So we are excited to obviously further educate, further inform all the residents about the opportunities that are here. So there's something else that needs to be publicized. In May, we will have our flagship tech conference here in Tallinn. So we are inviting you to definitely make note of Latitude 59 that takes place on May 23rd and 24th. At the same time, in this time before the Latitude conference, we are hosting e-Residents ecosystem study trip. So if you are a startup founder, you have a scalable tech-based business idea, then please apply to e-Residents ecosystem study trip that's happening on May 22nd. We will visit at least 2 great local accelerators, the best co-working hub, definitely a very successful startup company, and hear inspiring stories of e-residents who have found investments in Estonia and grown their businesses here, as well as local investors. And before you know it, you should be here in Estonia. And just to close off with the last slide, as we said in the beginning, we will send you the slides afterwards to your email. So everybody who wanted to click on the links that Eero shared and read more on those grants, then you will get all those slides. And we are just really happy that you joined. And keep in touch, get in touch, and have a great, successful business.
Yes, from my side as well. Thank you for the presenters. Thank you for attending. Check out the links and slides and recordings, and also join our groups in Facebook or sign up to our newsletter to be updated of the news. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.